next up at UFC San Antonio, we have Trevin Giles taking on Preston Parsons. Trevin Giles is 15-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off the first win at welterweight. He moved down to welterweight. He's 1-1. Finally got his first win at his new weight class. He's taking on Preston Parsons, 10-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off his first UFC win. And this is an interesting fight. Trevin Giles is open as even, now a very tiny underdog. Let's just call this fight a pick'em, even though Preston is essentially a favorite now. So the line is moving. We'll see what happens if it yo-yos, but Preston Parsons is a favorite. You had your opportunity to get him at underdog money, and you did not. But Trevin Giles...
It's back. He's -1 or 3 again. It's flipping back and forth.
I actually said that would happen in quick picks. I said people are going to look at this. They're going to bet on whoever's more affordable. Yeah, they're going to bet whoever's more affordable. And on its surface, I get that because Trevin Giles he's actually very athletic. He's got a solid jab, decent grappling. His takedown defense is actually pretty good as well. He sets a nice pace and he pumps that jab out there. And you're going to see the Roman Dolidze win. We'll talk about that in a second. And Preston Parsons is actually a very slick grappler who up until his last fight had 100% submission wins. Every single one of his wins was by submission. He's a BJJ black belt. He's very aggressive, throws big shots to set up those takedowns. But he's coming off his first UFC win. It was over Evan Elder, who we know is tough as shit. He had 4 takedowns, 8 minutes of control time. But what I love about that is it went the distance. We know a few fights ago, you talked about whatever the hell his name was. All his wins are in the first round. We don't know what he's going to look like. Who knows, blah, blah, blah. Well, now we know Preston Parsons can fight for 3 rounds. And I love seeing that because Trevin Giles is not a guy that you're just going to get out of there super quick, right? Trevin Giles is kind of a tough guy. And you're going to see the Roman Dolidze win on his record. And you're going to be like, Trevin Giles beat Roman Dolidze? Roman Dolidze should have just gotten a 1. Blah, 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 blah. The problem is Trevin Giles did not beat Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze won that fight. Then you're going to say, well, how did he survive? Well, Roman Dolidze was cutting from 205 to 185, did the cut wrong, gassed like an animal, and basically had no energy after the first round. And then just coasted on just coming forward and throwing big shots over and over and over. Trevin is tough. This fight likely is a decision, but Preston Parsons is going to be my pick. I think he's going to get the wrestling going. I don't think Trevin Giles is as good as some of his wins. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I actually think that Trevin Giles is a very good fighter. That's why he was my lock of the week against Roman, and that was one of the most bailout lock of the weeks at the time. I couldn't admit it at the time, obviously, because it was lock of the week win, and I'll take every win that I can get. But, retrospect, Roman absolutely won that fight. But Trevin is a good boxer. He's a very well-rounded fighter, and he's a good boxer, and he has said himself he has the best jab in the UFC. The issue is whether it's true or not, it is a good jab. You just wish he used it. I mean, there's a lot of fights where he is just kind of dancing around, stalking people. He will walk people down, but he's just not doing anything. He's just not doing anything. When he snaps it out, he does have good success there. So it's hard to bet, and it's hard to trust a guy like Trevin Giles, who isn't super dangerous, can get out wrestled. If he's flat on his back, he will stay flat on his back for a little bit of time before he's able to get back to his feet, and can get out striked if you pressure him. He does not like pace. He does not like pressure. And that's exactly what Preston Parsons is. You saw that in his last fight against was a smaller guy in Evan Elder and a short notice guy, but he understood that. So he said, I'm going to outwork this guy, and that's exactly what he did. His grappling, his wrestling looked fantastic doing it. I think he gets in the face of Trevin Giles. I think he really disrupts the striking. I think Trevin gets frustrated, swings a little bit harder, makes some mistakes, ends up on his back, and Preston Parsons can really win this inside the distance. I'm Preston Parsons all the way.
Yeah, we both are. I have a half a unit money line bet on Preston. I got it at -105. Sounds like that money just is moving around, right? So you'll probably be able to get that or something close to it, or the line's going to take off. This one's hard to tell because it is yo-yoing. But I have a half a unit money line on Preston. I got him at that sort of underdog spot there. And I think he's going to get it done. I think Trevin Giles gets a little too much credit for the Roman win. He does have a nice jab, but to your point, doesn't use it very often. Pretty low volume guy.
If he
and
pumps
Preston's
it
just
out,
going to come forward.
Yeah, if he pumps it out, this is the perfect fight for Trevin Giles to pump that out because Preston's going to move forward. He's not the greatest striker, so he's not going to be bobbing and weaving. That jab should be there. So if Trevin is just pumping that jab out there, he can win this fight. He just hasn't shown that he's willing to really, really use that as a volume strike.
No, I completely agree. $8,000, $8,200. I'm going to avoid the $8,200 on Trevin Giles because he doesn't score well in his wins anyway. So he's not worth it even if you think he wins because it literally is just a jab. And that's a regular strike.
He's not a dangerous guy. Not a dangerous guy.
Well, and jabs are regular strikes. Jabs aren't even significant strikes depending on who's counting, but jabs typically are not significant. So those count, what is DraftKings, 0.2? 0.2 points for a jab. So anyway, Preston should be able to get some takedowns, get it going. 8,000 may be some solid value there. I've got the half a unit money line bet, but another bet that I may place is the takedown prop bets. Bet Online has it. I think DraftKings does as well. What DraftKings or Bet Online does,
they could mess this one up because Trevin's got wrestling, right? Or he has takedown.
Trevin has good takedown defense, so they may say
line up, yeah.
They may say Preston Parsons 5 takedowns. Is like, well, he's going to get less than that. He's not going to get 5.
No, I think they might have Trevin Giles as like a minus 115, like most takedowns. I think they might have him as a favorite, and that's a mistake.
Well, so just make sure you guys are a premium member. So on Fridays, I do the betting video. I give you pretty much all of my bets, a couple of Jacobs. The rest are for premium members. If you tailed all the bets I gave you in the free video on Friday, you made a bunch of money. All of mine hit in that video. Every single one of my bets in that video hit. And I think the ones for Jacob that I put out there hit as well. But what you miss is Fridays after I record that video, Bet Online drops all the takedown prop bets and all the significant strike prop bets. And there's some solid spots. I actually missed one this weekend. But there's always solid spots. I don't think we've ever missed a takedown one. And especially because what they do, you don't even need to worry about the line.
Well, it's hard to miss because when they mess them up, they mess them up.
Yeah, and he's not even talking about error. They just put out a bad line. Because it's literally just who's going to get more takedowns in this fight. And if it's Preston Parsons minus 200, yeah, he's going to get more. Trevin Giles is not shooting takedowns. Preston Parsons is going to get more takedowns. And if it's a tie or there's none, you get a full refund. You get the money back. So they're very safe bets. So make sure if you're a premium member, make sure you've linked your Discord because those lines do move very fast. Like there's times where I hit it, I throw it on premium, Jacob looks at it, he goes, oh shit, he goes to hit it, and like, it's a half a point different, instead of minus 110, it's minus 105, stuff like that. Any last words, Jakey? You gonna throw Parsons in your Parsons in your DraftKings lineup?
I think he's got some good value. I think there's more of a finishing value here than people think.
Yeah, what were you trying to avoid saying?
No, I was trying to think of the word I wanted, and then I also have like a cut on my tongue, so I keep like clipping it on my teeth, and it fucking hurts.
Okay.